And there are so many things happening in our country today. A lot. Many things that you want to call Tinubu gains. Changes taking place, reforms. From now, going forward, Nigerians are going to see things. Already, a couple of things are happening. And that's why I'm happy to see our own general leading many others here. For the first time in our country, the entire security sector, leaders are working as one. Armed forces, intelligence communities, civil police, all others. I want to assure you, tell Nigerians that for the first time, maybe ever, more than ever before, we work as a team, one. And we are beginning to see the gains, what we call Tinubu gains. Hundreds of bandits are killed today, every day. Tinubu gains. You move everywhere in our own country today, free of fear. Tinubu gains. Things are changing. These so-called Lakura or whatever you call them, they are making a mistake. Nobody ever dares Tinubu and win. Nobody. They have come at a wrong time. Nobody has ever defeated Tinubu. And you are going to be defeated, and we will kick you out of Nigeria. This is a Nigeria of 2024. And this is a Nigeria where I can assure you the critics will be quiet. One after the other. Things will change in our country. And it's already changing. Many parts of our country today is living in peace. Go to the Niger Delta. Things have changed. Today, we have gotten to 1.8 million barrels of crude oil. We have not seen this for a long, long time. Tinubu gains. Southeast is getting to be at peace with itself and with the rest of our country. The bandits are running left, right. Every single day, we are getting people who are surrendering. I was talking with the general. As of today, even right now, we have places where we are receiving surrendered bandits. It's happening every day. And it will happen more. Just wait and see. Critics, we will shut you up. We will do that.
As we hear what the NSA, that is the National Security Agency, have to say, he touched so many parts of Nigeria that we had issues and we are still having issues. And then he said that Tinubu government have defeated them. And he said that we can move freely in Nigeria, which means that we cannot move freely in Nigeria because of insecurity. If you are traveling to North, you'll be scared that you might be kidnapped by those bandits. And then he said that some bandits we are already surrendering, which you all know that what happened in the time of Boko Haram member, that they said that they are repented and then they brought them back to society, which let us stole our arms and our motorcycle that went back to the bush. That means they came in the form of they have repented, and then they came to take more weapons and then rushed back to the society, to the bush, to keep on with their kidnapping and then the rest. But let me let you guys hear what Rufai said. Because Rufai tackled this as I loved it, and you too will love what Rufai said about this man and his statements in this video I got to watch. Let me see you guys in a minute.
Well, there you have it. Some strong words from the National Security Advisor. He touched on a number of issues, and Rufai, I'd love to get your take on some of his comments.
So, at first, a couple of things. Should a National Security Advisor be this seen? That's my first question. Should this be this seen in public, being the one making... Oh, good morning, Dr. Abati. Dr. Abati just joined us. I mean, he's here this morning. Thank you so much. Should it be this seen in public, be the one making a case, making a stump speech of some sort? I thought the role of a National Security Advisor should be the one coordinating all the efforts, and given to the relevant departments to be able to push it out there. So this was quite bullish. It was like stump speech. In fact, in my mind, I was like, is Ribadu running for president or something? Because this is a hype man speech. Secondly, he said a lot of things. Let me tackle them real quickly. He said nothing has defeated President Tinubu. I know one thing that has defeated President Tinubu. Hunger, poverty, pain, misery of the Nigerian people, inflation has defiled President Tinubu in this last 18 months. And that's the reality of a lot of Nigerians, because Nigerians want a government that can truly be there for them. He talked about the Lakurawa group. The Lakurawa group is not a new group. So if, based on intelligence, they said this group has been an intelligence circle all this while, why is it that when the Lakurawa choose to announce themselves, that's when we are going after them? I thought the National Security Advisor would have coordinated effort to be able to decimate them before now. I'll praise them for some of their gains they are making, trying to, as much as possible, fight them. But to a large extent, why did this group need to even kill 13 people in Kebbi before we start saying, oh, we are going to defeat them? Another point he made, he talked about the state of play of the economy, and that's why I was taken aback. And that's why I said, he shouldn't be saying all of this. He said the CBN will prevail and all of that. Yes, optimism is good, that the Naira is going to be stabilized. I mean, what's the role of a national security advisor talking about the stability of Naira in the first place? As we speak today, despite all the intervention, the Naira has still ballooned up to the 1,700 threshold. A lot of analysts said he was going to find its fair value at 700. That has also impacted the economy. Some positive side as regards the engagement in this, customs forum was the fact that customs said they've been able to increase revenue and all of that. He also misquoted crude oil prices by saying we've topped 1.8 million barrels. No. I think the last count is about 1.4 thereabout million barrels, or even less than 1.4 million barrels, because the target was supposed to be 2 million barrels. And that's why I'm asking, why is the National Security Advisor been in the vanguard of all of this? But apart from that, other things were said, as regards the growth prospect of the economy, and, commiserations were made to the family of General Lagbaja, and, there was a talk about synergy and coming together of all factors, to be able to make the nation better. It was a good outing, but I'm a little iffy that the National Security Advisor is this seen making stump statements, talking about the economy and all sorts. Moving on.
Okay. Apologies for coming late to the party. I'm battling with, a bout of a flu, but I'll see what I can do, having struggled to show up today. Now, it's as follows. I think that the National Security Advisor, representing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the National Annual Conference of Customs, there's nothing wrong. He addressed a specific issue, security threats to Nigeria, particularly from the northwest flank, involving bandits, terrorists, insurgents from Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. And what he did, simply, was to reassure the Nigerian public that just as the Boko Haram had been decimated, to use a moderate phrase that had come from official quarters, that this Lakurawa will also be dealt with. He made a point that, look, President Tinubu is committed to ensuring the security and safety of all Nigerians, and that he has done so in the southeast, he has done so significantly in the southwest and also the northeast, and that he will do so again in the northwest. Now he's National Security Advisor. What do we expect him to say? We expect him to build confidence as the representative of the president. He was speaking in his capacity as representative of the president at the National Customs Conference, which incidentally is talking about engaging traditional and new partners to move Nigeria forward. So I think it's on point in that regard. But my issue with the presentation by Nuhu Ribadu was when he started saying, critics will soon be quiet. Critics will not say anything. No. Critics will never be quiet. Who the hell is going to tell us on this table, for example, not to express our opinion? Nobody, born of man, can say don't express your opinion, because it is our job. Under the Constitution, Section 22, Section 39, you give me the microphone, I express my opinion. You give me the pen, well, I buy my own pens. I express my own opinion. So to say that critics will be quiet, criticism is part of the engine oil of democracy. So what National Security Advisor Ribadu said is perfectly in order. I don't think that it will be wrong for him to say, oh, security is going to be sustained, Lakurawa will be decimated like Boko Haram, foreign investors will praise us. No, I don't think there's any problem with that. I think the other thing is to commend the customs, Nigerian Customs Service, under the leadership of Wale Adeniyi, who seems to be doing a very good job. He's not just organizing conferences, he's also looking for new partners. We had a forum the other day at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, specifically on the American election. And I was quite impressed that the hall where we had the discussion was a space that had been provided by Adeniyi as Controller General of Customs. And it was a very befitting environment. So when Customs under Wale Adeniyi talks about partnership, traditional and new partners, I think that is something that is putting a good accent upon. Yeah, and I've seen evidence of that at the NIA. But I think that for the benefit of all the things said by the National Security Advisor, they say that the taste of the pudding is in the eating. We hope that the time will not come very shortly when we'll be told that, oh, Lakurawa is causing more damage. The National Security Advisor has told us that we have the capacity and we have the resources, and the president is determined to make sure that Lakurawa is decimated the same way security is being provided in other countries. He has the job. He should fulfill that pledge. He should live up to that promise that has been made by the president. That, I think, is a major point to be made.
Right. Now, this conversation tied in together all of the aspects that are contributing to some of the challenges that we're having with regards to boosting trade in Nigeria at this Controller General of Customs conference. Now, when we look at the issue of Lakurawa and the group, as Rufai rightfully said, it's not a new group. In fact, it is reported that this group emerged in 2018. What I want to focus on is what led to the introduction of this group in Nigeria. Well, some of the reports that have been recorded state that it was the nomadic herdsmen of the area who invited this group so that they could protect them from bandits. So now the question is, are we dealing with the root cause of the issue? Because when you have people turning to self-help, these are some of the unintended consequences. I don't believe the people who turned to this method of self-help thought that they were inviting a terrorist group into their country and into their community and their space. They were simply looking for a source of protection. Now, over the years, unfortunately, they have established their colony. Their location is well known, and I believe the Defense HQ has also confirmed that they know their location, which is why, arguably, it should be quite easy to smoke them out. However, the question is, what is it that has allowed these people to settle in so comfortably into a territory where they should be terrified of coming into? You look at the security concerns around the area, but then you also tie it in because their most recent emergence is tied into the diplomatic spat between Nigeria and Niger at the beginning of the President Tinubu administration. So we now ask ourselves, and this is where the conversation of trade now comes to the fore, we now ask ourselves, what are our relationships like with our neighbors? We know that ECOWAS should be one of our biggest trading partners, but we're currently now surrounded by countries that are not ECOWAS members. I think only Benin Republic remains that is an ECOWAS member, but our largest land borders are no longer with ECOWAS partners. So this conversation around trade and this conference is very critical and is coming at a critical time. And the importance of national security, the importance of ensuring that all of these little groups that sprout in and opportunistically come into a country to try and establish themselves under the guise of wanting to protect, various communities that they may have some shared outlook on life with, is a very critical conversation. Now, I believe Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala also made a virtual participation at this conference yesterday, and of course she was praising some of the wins of the customs department, the increase in revenue, and so forth. But another conversation to be had there is, where else can we boost our trade? Currently, we're still oil dependent. But the one thing that does come up when you look at the export quota, the export statistics as shared by the National Bureau of Statistics, is that cocoa beans are also making a strong appearance. They're one of our lead exporters. But still, the conversation there is, where is the benefication? Where is the value addition? How much more can we do with regards to positioning Nigeria strategically for trade, not just in the region, but also globally? However, regionally, the issue of security is our greatest challenge, and we sure do hope that, as been promised by the National Security Advisor, that some sanity will be restored in that area.
It's a country where there's hunger, there's hike in poverty, there's hike in fuel price, hike in price of things in the market, and then you can come out and say that the Tinubu government have overcome a lot of things. Because I don't see reason for that statement to come out from the National Security Agency advisor rather. Because Nigeria, me and you know, is suffering. Nigeria, me and you know, is going through a lot. We don't have any good road, we don't have any good infrastructure, we don't have any companies, we don't have factories. We are a country that doesn't produce. Okay, that means Tinubu government just came to fight insecurities only. Because everything he read out was just insecurities about how they are kidnapping bandits and then bandits and insecurity. But let me ask you a question. Who have been exposed to be the ones that have funded these bandits? It's not our government. But they came out just to say that they are working well in the insecurity, the bandit sectors. Whereas they might be the ones that are even funding those bandits, because there is some proofs here on social media that our governments are the ones funding these insecurities and funding these bandits. But they are coming out to tell you that only thing that they are working is just insecurity sector, because the man never mentioned about poverty and making life of every Nigerian better. He was talking about insecurities and making making us to be able to travel freely in Nigeria, whereas we don't still travel freely in Nigeria. Just go to Southeast, go to Imo State especially. You see the level of insecurities in Imo State is alarming, and they can come out to tell us that bandits, that they are clean bandits, they are doing bandits. It's only bandits that these people have come to Nigeria to solve. No, he didn't mention anything about making the life of Nigerian better. He never said anything about giving job opportunities. He never said anything about building factories. But they are busy building. They are using billions to build houses for our politicians. Nobody have come out to say, okay, let's build factory, let's build a factory that produces cream, that produces broom, that produces toothpick. Nothing. Everything in Nigeria has been imported, and then he came out to tell us these things, only bandits that are fighting, bandits. But I like guys, everything about that video watched in the comment section. I will take a shortly in my next video. Stay tuned, guys.